Hello, Andra.
Hey.
So you were telling me that you like to holiday in Croatia.
I do. I love it there.
Where exactly do you go?
It's just opposite Split. It's an island called Hvar, and I've been going there since I was a teenager, and I just love it.
Oh, is that place that's become quite trendy nowadays?
Hvar town itself has become quite trendy. I'm actually about a half hour away from that, so I'm in a smaller kind of village.
And when did you find this little place?
Oh, I think I found it maybe about 6 years ago. I mean, the town I've been going to for about 40 years. My a childhood friend of mine had a house there, and then I was holidaying with my late husband, and we kind of passed this place, and it was like, oh, this looks interesting. And then and then about 5 years ago, I put in an offer on it, and it was accepted, and there we go.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, so it's a place to go back to again and again.
Absolutely.
How nice. I wanted to talk to you today about how beautifully you're celebrating your grays.
Whoa.
Was this something that you thought about, or is it something that just naturally progressed for you, would you say?
I think it kind of naturally progressed. I guess about 20 years ago or so, I had a back operation, and when I woke up from the surgery, I had this shot of gray in the front of my hair. I mean, literally I woke up from the anesthetic and I had this white skunk streak.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, well, is this kind of shades of things to come? And I mean, I'd always kind of topped up my color, and I guess that shock of gray, I wanted to cover it up, because I guess I was in my late 20s, so I didn't even think about going gray back then. So it was longer than 20 years ago. But then I guess just slowly over the years, I kept getting grayer and grayer. And then maybe about 8 years ago, a friend of mine said, why don't you just look and see what it would be like if you just didn't dye your hair and you went completely gray. So I went to my hairdresser and I said, okay, well, what do you think? And she said, let's try it, see what happens. And I think then I still had too much brown in it, so I wasn't really too convinced. I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure I like this. So I continued coloring my hair. And then my best friend got she had a series of brain tumors, but in solidarity, she stopped dyeing her hair, and I decided, okay, I was going to stop dyeing my hair too. So we went kind of gray together, and I was liking it a bit better because it was a bit more kind of salt and pepper, and I thought, okay, well, this is kind of interesting. And then sadly she passed, and I thought, okay, is this just making me look too old? And my daughter was still at primary school, and she was like, Mom, you look like my grandma, just dye your hair. So back I went to but this time I went for the herbal dye because they stopped making the color that I wanted. So I went for the herbal dye, and that was just it was too red. It was kind of in the henna zone, and I just was not having it. And then I just thought, I've had it with this. I'm just going to go gray, and to hell with it.
And once you did,
and I liked it because it was like it is now. It was very salt and peppery.
Right.
So, and I kind of could enhance it with my purple shampoo and make it brighter, and all those things. And I just thought, oh, well, this is so much easier. My hair grows really quickly, so for me to dye it, it's like every 3 weeks.
Right.
It's like I have to cut it every 4 to 5 weeks, and I would say I'd have to color every sort of 3 to 4. And I was like, I just don't want to be a slave to my hair. I mean, it's enough keeping it short and looking good,
Yep.
and product and the whole thing. And I just thought, I just don't need the added.
Yeah. So now interestingly, on the market, there are an awful lot more products,
There
aren't there,
are.
specifically for this range of people.
Well, and I think also, gray, especially the silver gray, people were actually dyeing their hair to achieve that silver gray.
Yes.
And it became very kind of fashionable amongst a lot of influencers, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a very strange color because it's not a very natural color. It's quite a kind of manufactured silver.
Because it's all one color.
Because it's all one color.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the products that are available were to maintain that. So I think for us natural people, we've kind of benefited from an array of stuff out there.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Just by association.
Yeah.
I think
from the pound shop to the 60 quid a bottle.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that you are really fully embracing,
I am.
do you think that you dress differently? Do you use different colors?
No, I don't think I do.
Mm-hmm.
My color's always been red or pink.
Yeah.
And I've always worn a lot of black. So I think certainly with my hair shorter, I mean, I definitely use more product, and I think wear more makeup during the day. Because I can get kind of quite washed out, and I think there is that whole connotation that when you go gray, you look old. So I think it's how to keep yourself kind of vibrant and gray.
You worked as a stylist, didn't you, for some time?
Yeah.
So does that? I guess that informs your choices now.
I think so. I've also there's a wonderful makeup artist who I used to work with a lot, who does a lot of movies and stuff, and she's also embraced her gray.
Yeah.
I've noticed that she gets very groovy with her eyeglass wear, and she's always had red lips, so she's kind of quite dramatic. So I follow her on Instagram and I kind of check it out, and her hair isn't as short as mine, but I do kind of check out what other gray ladies are doing.
And would you say that it's a good platform to, explore other, perhaps bolder styles that maybe you may not have done previously?
And I think also historically, when you look back, certainly during the 70s, there were a lot of those very elegant kind of New York icons who went gray early, and I think it's kind of interesting to use them as style icons, if you like.
Yeah.
And a lot of the older models who continued their careers also did so while they were gray.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But so you mentioned that you felt that it possibly is aging, but then when you then explore all the different ways that you can dress it up.
I think you have to be confident enough to work it.
Yeah.
I think, possibly many people who go gray are very complacent, and they're going to walk around in their kind of, they're more dowager looks, which I think will make you look frumpy. And so I think it does depend on your personality, and it does depend on, the persona that you want people to see you within.
So, So do you think people treat you differently now because you're openly out gray, would you say?
I think, no, I do think possibly, I think when you're in the media and you're in media creative circles, I don't think people really hone in on it that much. I think that, people are a little more accepting of rites of passage, and
so you don't feel it affects you in your work, in any way?
I don't think so. No,
okay.
I don't think so. But I mean, it's hard to tell because I'm not in a 24/7 workplace, and so therefore I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I worked in an office job and I went from, say, one day I was, this glossy brunette to the next day I was this kind of salt and pepper blonde, gray. If I would be perceived differently, I don't know, because that's not my daily experience.
But you mentioned I know you have a daughter who's
16.
Still, yeah, she's in her teens. And what does she have any kind of reaction for you?
She's always been conscious of. I mean, I became a mom at 43, so I was very late to the game. So she's always had like the oldest mother in the group.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I don't, if I don't work it and I don't style my game, I think there's definitely that fear that I'm going to become the frumpy mom. So I try not to engage in that.
But you aren't a frumpy mom.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But I don't know at what point, from a teenager's point of view, I'm
Yeah.
not sure at what point that crosses the line.
But she doesn't have an opinion specifically about, now that you're growing mom, this
No,
changes my life.
No, I don't think so. She definitely at one point did say, "Oh, you've got to keep dyeing your hair," but that's become less and less as she's gotten older. And I think, again, as if I was walking around in a frumpy tracksuit every day, she'd be like, "Mom," But as long as I keep things stylish, she's happy.
So it's really about style.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think it is about the confidence that you have to kind of carry it off. And I think if you doubt you doubt yourself and get into that whole ageism thing,
Mm-hmm.
then.
So was that a factor for you, that you felt that you needed to up your game, or did you feel like that it was just a natural progression?
It was a natural progression. It
Yeah.
was just like, that's what I kind of wanted to do. And tough, if other people didn't like it, that's who I am, and that's what I'm doing, and it's my natural progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if someone said to you, "I'm not sure what to do now. Do I not?" What
I'd
would you
say try it a couple of times, experiment. I mean, maybe you do have to change your hairstyle. I don't know. I mean, like, you have fabulous long gray hair. So, I don't know. I've never been a long hair person. So, I mean, I guess it could be that for some people, if they've got a different style and they pull it back and they're in a bun, that they're going to feel like an old granny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was great speaking to you, Andra. Thank you so much, and I'm really happy to hear your insights.
Thanks.
Thank you.